It doesn't look like late cycle to me. I believe we are now in the middle of the crypto cycle, but then I've heard some say that this crypto cycle might be changing now that big companies are getting involved. And as you know, there are 4 groups that come together to make the price peak in a normal cycle for a risk asset in the stock market, not in crypto. High net worth people, companies, and family offices are the 4 types. And there is no peak until all 4 groups are fully committed to an area. The XRP army just went through a huge drop, losing more than 6% on the day and getting close to 270 on the price charts. And it is possible that prices will go down even more in the short run. That's why I'm making this video today. Tom Lee says that the stage is still in the middle, which means that there is a lot more room for growth. We will soon know the exact amount of liquidity that has yet to hit the markets. This is why I think a lot of people should be thinking about a possible accumulation time right now. That's what I'll do. This is what I did during the last bull run, and it paid off huge for me. That's why I'm making this video. I hope it changes your lives in some way. Please hit the like button so that everyone can see it. Now let's watch the movie. For me, Ethereum is getting better, right? Because we know that the community has come together. We also know that a huge number of people are interested because Wall Street wants to tokenize things. They have chosen to do it on Ethereum. In light of this, I believe that action on Ethereum should start to lose value when you think about its future worth. I believe this is the reason why the price still needs to go up. Also, I think I said that you can get close to 15,000 ETH if you use more than one similar circle. That's just the value for today. That's why I believe ETH is still too cheap. However, we also know that just from a trade point of view, a lot of people believe that ETH has stopped working and is now just a layer 1. More things are going on at Solana or SUI. ETH, on the other hand, is an officially recognized blockchain that works in the US and has never been down. I thought it was really cool that Vitalik notes that Ethereum has had no downtime on its 10th birthday. Wall Street cares about that. For banks, having no downtime is very important, so I guess that's kind of a nod to Wall Street. But yeah, you know, some people do have a pair. They don't like ETH and like something else, and I believe that $4,000 is a firm limit. But I think it will happen soon. I know you're optimistic about ETH because you just said it would happen soon. But let us look at the case of the bear. What's going to happen if we don't reach $4,000? It's not important to me. It's like someone who said a few months ago, Bitcoin can't hold $100,000. How many people said Bitcoin wouldn't hold $100,000? Because for one, it's not backed by anything and there aren't any new buyers behind $100,000. But guess what? Bitcoin is now worth $120,000. I actually think there are a lot of new buyers for ETH above $4,000. As a result, I believe that $4,000 is just paper, even if someone thinks that amount of resistance stands for something very important. Not long ago, I read an article that quoted you saying that the current market rebound was the worst V-shaped bounce in history. Could you help me open that up a little? I believe each bounce since COVID has been a bad bounce. Because if you were honest with yourself, you didn't think we could get back on track after the initial COVID drop because the world economy shut down. Next, stocks fell because Fed Chair Powell started the fastest rate hikes in history. When stocks fell in 2022, I know all of my institutional clients told me, Tom, there's no way stocks can come back. They said that the Fed is trying to cause a recession. Not all of them, but most of them. People really didn't like those two gatherings. This rise because stocks fell like a rock because of the tariff war. A lot of people gave money to or joined political parties, and 60% of professional stock owners did not vote for President Trump. They voted for someone else. This shows that the stock market doesn't trust Trump's plans. Because of this, when stocks fell in April and we talked about a waterfall drop and symmetrical bounces unless there's a recession, it was met with doubt because the Fed wasn't going to release more money. You won't get a V-shaped bounce then. We did get a V-shaped bounce. In fact, that fits with what we know about the past. Many people dislike these gatherings because since the end of 2019, economists have played a big role in making big decisions, which is a good thing. When you shut down an economy, economists help you figure out what to do. They also help you figure out how to deal with things like inflation and taxes. It's clear that their opinions are important. When experts say that there is a recession and that you shouldn't own stocks because of it, remember that they were right about 13 of the last 3 recessions. That's why I think this is the most hated gathering. So once we hit new highs, it makes sense that stocks have been flying and there's still a lot of cash sitting behind. By the way, that's a whole type of Ethereum. That's right, you just said that a lot of new people will buy ETH above $4,000. What do you think about Bitcoin? Yes, I believe Bitcoin is now used by enough people that it's a regular way for them to buy things. I think a lot of standard investors are now building up Bitcoin and they buy it every month, and that's probably why it's staying the same here. And I do think that global funding is important for Bitcoin to really make its next quantum leap. You already know that the Fed is not doing anything. But if they decide to raise rates next, the stock market will have to really fight through that. It might not go down, but it has to fight that. That Fed's case would be, well, the economy is so good, I should be raising rates. The truth is that the Fed should be easing at this point in the cycle. When will it happen? And if they start to loosen up in the fall, I think Bitcoin will take a step upwards at the same time. I still believe that $200,000 to $250,000 is possible. What are you keeping an eye on when it comes to crypto stocks? Tell me, what stands out to you about the Robinhoods, Circles, and Coinbase? To begin, I would say that if I were to put what I see as action on top of that, that's what the exchanges are reporting. And yes, you're right that Robinhood is mostly designed to be a crypto play. It doesn't look like late cycle to me. I believe we are now in the middle of the crypto cycle. But then I've heard some say that this crypto cycle might be changing now that big companies are getting involved. And as you know, there are 4 groups that come together to make the price peak in a normal cycle for a risk asset in the stock market, not in crypto. High net worth people, companies, and family offices are the 4 types. And there is no peak until all 4 groups are fully committed to an area. And that doesn't include the world side of crypto. In other words, I believe that strong findings have been reported. For me, though, it still doesn't feel like late cycle, especially when I see how Coinbase and Robinhood are sponsored and owned, which is why I know this is a big relief for many of you. Some people in the comments started to say that this was the last dump and the end of the cycle. I'm done with cryptocurrencies because of the current drop in value of all of them. To get a better idea of the bigger picture, here are charts for Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, and pretty much every other top 10 cryptocurrency over the last 6 months. They show a very clear trend. I also want to show you this trend. We can see that there have been many days like the one we are seeing now by looking at the daily chart. That was the case in January. Right here you can see that after we hit our highs, there was a huge drop. Also, everyone at the time said the same thing. The bull run is over. After that, the lows got even lower. After that, there was a huge surge and then another correction. And it is very similar to what we're seeing now. Take a look. We go up, reach our highest point, and then there is a huge drop. Right now, we're in that fix. And if you zoom in, it's easy to see that I'm buying all of these red days. And I bought something today, a few days ago, the day before, and the day before that. And the more we do this, the less entries I get on average. And the reason I'm so sure of myself and putting so much into it now, when most people are scared and don't know what the future holds, is because I've been doing this for years. Personally, I've noticed that the best times to make money are when people are selling and buying based on their emotions, giving up and saying it's all over. Also, it might be a good idea to make money when everyone is too happy, hopeful, and excited. So I'm just taking a look at how the market is feeling right now and doing the exact opposite of what most people are doing. We'll see how things go in the end. I agree with Tom Lee, though, that I'm sure we're still very early in this cycle. Also, I'd like to ask everyone to my free Discord and Telegram group, where I post all of my trades for free. You don't have to pay anything to use it. Signing up for one of my 2 partner crypto exchanges is all you need to do to get into my secret Discord and Telegram group. You'll need to be on one of those exchanges anyway. BNX and BTCC are my 2 partners that I use myself if you want to trade and copy my trades. That's why they work with my feed. After that, you need to add crypto to that market so that you can trade. Of course, you'll need at least $500 as a fee to be eligible. You'll get great bonuses for doing that too. BTCC is giving you guys big bonuses when you make a deposit. You guys can get great trade bonuses from BNX. For BNX, you can get up to $8,000, and for BTCC, you can get up to $10,000. After you finish those 2 steps, all you have to do is fill out this form with your email address and exchange user ID. After that, you'll be able to use your email to connect to Discord and Telegram. Just to be safe, make sure you check your spam bin. It does go to spam sometimes, but it will still be there. You can join both Discord and Telegram if you want to. Remember that nothing I say on this channel is meant to help you with your money. If you learned something useful from what I talked about today, please like and follow. It would mean a lot to me. Please click on the Crypto Crusaders link below to join our great group. See you in the next video. Goodbye.